The massive NIGMA Empire scout ship emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the Sol system. Its dark hull reflected no light, absorbing even the distant sparkle of stars. Inside the vessel, Captain Reed of the NIGMA scout fleet stared at the sensor readings with his 4 eyes widening in surprise. "Another technological civilization," he muttered, his scaled fingers tapping against the control panel. "And they've spread beyond their home world." The sensors showed human settlements on Mars and several space stations orbiting Earth. Mining operations dotted the asteroid belt, and communication signals bounced between planets. It wasn't the most advanced civilization the NIGMA Empire had encountered, but it was significant enough to warrant attention. 2 days later, in the United Earth Defense Command Center buried deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, Admiral Marcus stood before the holographic display showing the NIGMA scout ship's position. His weathered face reflected the blue glow of the display as he studied the vessel's capabilities. "They're watching us," he said to the assembled military leaders. "And they're not trying to hide it." Lieutenant Parker, head of the Intelligence Division, stepped forward. "Sir, we've intercepted their communications. They're reporting back to their fleet. Should we show them our real capabilities?" Admiral Marcus shook his head. "No. Let them see what we want them to see. For now." The next morning, Earth sent its first diplomatic transmission to the NIGMA vessel. The message was simple: "We come in peace and welcome peaceful contact. However, we strongly advise against any hostile actions. We are more capable than we appear." The response came within hours. The NIGMA ship's captain appeared on screens worldwide, his scaled face and multiple eyes causing a stir among Earth's population. "Greetings, primitive beings," Captain Reed announced. "The glorious NIGMA Empire has deemed your civilization worthy of attention. Submit to our rule, and you may serve as a protectorate species. Resist and face extinction. You have 48 hours to respond." In the command center, Admiral Marcus watched the message replay, his expression unchanging. Around him, other military leaders muttered angrily at the arrogant tone. But Marcus remained calm, studying every detail of the alien captain's appearance and mannerisms. "Send them our response," he ordered after a moment of silence. The message Earth transmitted was brief. "We decline your offer and repeat our warning. Any hostile action against Earth or its colonies will be met with overwhelming force. We strongly advise you to reconsider your approach." The NIGMA Empire's response was immediate. High Commander Stone himself appeared in the transmission, his elaborate uniform covered in medals and his upper eyes glowing with contempt. "Your primitive weapons and basic space travel do not frighten the NIGMA Empire. We have conquered 1,000 worlds more advanced than yours. Your warning is noted and dismissed." In the command center, Admiral Marcus allowed himself a small smile. "They still haven't detected our quantum shield network or the stealth fleet," he said to Lieutenant Parker. "Their arrogance blinds them to even basic sensor suites." "Should we reveal our true capabilities now, sir?" Parker asked. "It might prevent unnecessary conflict." Marcus shook his head. "No, they've made their choice. Their pride won't let them back down now, even if we showed them everything. Sometimes the best lesson is learned the hard way." He turned to face the assembled command staff. "Initiate Operation Silent Shield. Let them think they're facing a primitive civilization. When they strike, they'll learn exactly what humanity is capable of." As the NIGMA scout ship prepared to return to its fleet, it remained completely unaware of the thousands of cloaked human vessels watching its every move. In their arrogance, they never thought to look for quantum signatures or dimensional distortions. They saw exactly what humanity wanted them to see: a relatively primitive civilization ripe for conquest. They would soon learn their mistake, the hard way. The NIGMA Empire's attack began at dawn, Earth time. Their warships appeared above Mars in a flash of purple light, their black hulls blocking out the stars. The Mars colonies, home to 10,000 settlers, lay exposed beneath them. High Commander Stone stood on his flagship's bridge, watching the tactical display with all four eyes. "Begin the demonstration," he ordered, his scaled lips curling into a smile. "Show these primitives the price of defiance." The NIGMA ships opened fire. Massive energy beams struck the Martian surface, targeting the largest colony domes. But something strange happened. The beams didn't destroy their targets completely. Instead, they caused only partial damage. "Sir," a NIGMA tactical officer called out, confusion in his voice. "The human structures. They're more resistant than our scans suggested." In the Earth Defense Command Center, Admiral Marcus watched the attack through quantum-linked cameras. Lieutenant Parker stood beside him, monitoring the data streams flowing in from their hidden sensors. "They're testing us," Marcus said quietly, "and learning exactly what we want them to learn." The Mars colonies had been prepared for this attack. While they appeared to be simple pressurized domes, they were actually hardened military installations disguised as civilian structures. Each hit revealed more information about NIGMA weapons technology to Earth's defense computers. Captain Reynolds, leading the covert special operations team hidden beneath the Martian surface, sent encrypted updates to Earth. NIGMA weapon signatures recorded. Their targeting systems rely on standard electromagnetic scanning. They haven't detected our quantum shielding or our underground facilities. The attack continued for 20 minutes. When it ended, the NIGMA ships hung in Mars orbit like giant black knives against the red planet. High Commander Stone recorded a transmission to Earth. "This demonstration shows only a fraction of our power." His scaled face filled screens across Earth. "Your Mars colonies still stand only because we allow it. Surrender now, or we will destroy them completely." In the command center, Admiral Marcus turned to his staff. Analysis. Lieutenant Parker stepped forward with a holographic display. "Sir, their weapons are powerful but predictable. No quantum-based systems, no dimensional phasing. They rely entirely on brute force, and most importantly," he paused, allowing himself a small smile, "they still haven't detected our stealth fleet surrounding them." The NIGMA ships waited in Mars orbit, expecting Earth's surrender. Instead, they received another warning. "This is your final chance to withdraw. We will not warn you again." High Commander Stone laughed when he heard the message. Brave words from primitives. Prepare the final strike on their Mars colonies. Show them what happens to those who defy the NIGMA empire. But as the NIGMA ships charged their weapons, something changed. Their sensors detected a brief energy spike from the Martian surface. Then another, and another. "Sir," a NIGMA officer shouted. "Energy readings everywhere. The humans, they're activating something." Hidden defense systems emerged from beneath the Martian soil. Quantum-linked communication arrays activated, connecting the Mars defense grid to Earth's command systems. What the NIGMA empire thought was a simple colony was revealing itself to be an intricate defensive network. "Should we reveal the stealth fleet now, sir?" Lieutenant Parker asked Admiral Marcus. Marcus shook his head. "Not yet. Let them retreat and report what they've seen. Let them think these basic defensive measures are the best we can do." He smiled grimly. "The NIGMA empire needs to commit their full force before they learn the truth about humanity's capabilities." The NIGMA ships withdrew from Mars orbit, their commanders confused but still confident. They had seen Earth's defenses now, impressive for primitives, but nothing that could stand against the Empire's full might. They never noticed the cloaked human ships following them back to their fleet. They never detected the quantum probes recording their every move. And they certainly didn't realize that their successful attack had gone exactly as humanity planned. 3 days after the Mars attack, the NIGMA Empire returned with their main battle fleet. 500 massive warships dropped out of hyperspace between Earth and Mars. Their black hulls formed a wall of darkness against the stars, designed to strike fear into the hearts of their enemies. High Commander Stone stood proudly on his command bridge. "See how the primitives tremble before our might," he said to his officers. "Their pitiful defenses on Mars will mean nothing against this force." But in the Earth Defense Command Center, Admiral Marcus watched the NIGMA fleet's arrival with calm eyes. "They brought exactly the number of ships we predicted," he said to Lieutenant Parker. "Time to show them their first real surprise." Marcus pressed his hand against the command console. "Activate the quantum shield network." At first, nothing seemed to happen. Then, high above Earth's atmosphere, the air began to shimmer. Like a curtain being pulled aside, Earth's true defensive barrier became visible. A beautiful, shifting wall of blue energy surrounded the entire planet, extending far into space. On the NIGMA flagship, alarms began blaring. "Sir," a sensor officer shouted, "massive energy readings. The Earth, it's surrounded by some kind of shield we've never seen before." High Commander Stone's 4 eyes widened in shock. "Impossible. Their technology level. We scanned them thoroughly. They shouldn't have this capability." "That's not all," another officer called out. "New ships. They're appearing everywhere." Around the NIGMA fleet, space itself seemed to ripple. Thousands of human vessels appeared, their sleek hulls gleaming with a dull silver light. They had been there all along, hidden by technology the NIGMA Empire couldn't even detect. Admiral Marcus's voice broadcasted across every NIGMA ship. "We warned you. We told you we were more capable than we appeared. This is your last chance to withdraw." In the command center, Lieutenant Parker monitored the NIGMA fleet's reactions. "They're charging weapons, sir. They still think they can win through superior numbers." Marcus nodded. "Then let's show them why that was a mistake. Activate the AI defense network." Across Earth's quantum shield, millions of small points of light began to glow. Each one was an AI-controlled defense platform, powered by technology far beyond anything the NIGMA Empire possessed. The platforms began firing precision energy beams, each shot passing through the NIGMA ship shields as if they weren't even there. "Impossible," Stone shouted as explosions rocked his flagship. "Their weapons, they're bypassing our shields completely. How can primitives have such technology?" The human fleet moved with perfect coordination, their AI systems predicting and countering every NIGMA tactic before it could be executed. Ships that the NIGMA Empire had considered primitive revealed weapon systems that made their own look outdated. "Sir," Lieutenant Parker reported to Admiral Marcus, "their fleet is in chaos. They've lost 60 ships already, and they still can't penetrate our quantum shields." Marcus watched the battle unfold with a grim expression. "Send the message." Every screen on every NIGMA ship activated, showing Admiral Marcus's face. "This is what we tried to warn you about. Your scans showed you what we wanted you to see. Your arrogance made you believe we were primitive. That mistake will cost you dearly." The NIGMA fleet attempted to retreat, but found themselves trapped by quantum gravity fields they couldn't detect or understand. Their mighty empire, which had conquered 1,000 worlds, was facing something they had never encountered before, a civilization that had hidden its true power until exactly the right moment. High Commander Stone stared at his tactical display in disbelief as more of his ships exploded. "How?" he whispered. "How could we have been so wrong?" The answer was simple, though he couldn't see it. Humanity had learned long ago that sometimes the best defense was to appear weak, until the moment you revealed your true strength. The NIGMA Empire was learning this lesson the hard way, and their education was far from over. After defeating the NIGMA fleet at Earth, humanity wasted no time. The moment their enemies tried to retreat, Admiral Marcus gave the order that would change the course of the war. "Begin Operation Thunderstrike." Commander Wilson stood on the bridge of the human battleship, Defiance, leading the assault fleet toward the NIGMA Empire's forward bases. Behind him, 500 human warships moved in perfect formation, their quantum drives humming with power. "Enemy bases detected," his AI assistant reported. "Their shield systems are at maximum power. They're expecting us. Wilson smiled. Let them expect us. Deploy the nanite swarms. From the human ships, clouds of tiny silver particles streamed out into space. To the NIGMA Empire sensors, they looked like harmless debris. That was their second mistake of the day. At the nearest NIGMA base, alarms suddenly blared. Sir, a panicked officer reported to Base Commander Reed. Our shields, they're dissolving. The nanites had done their work, eating through the NIGMA Empire's supposedly impenetrable defense screens like acid through paper. Before the base could respond, human ships appeared from quantum space directly above them. This is Commander Wilson of the Earth Defense Fleet. His message boomed through the base. Your shields are down. Your weapons are next. Surrender or be destroyed. In the Earth Defense Command Center, Admiral Marcus watched multiple battles unfold through quantum-linked displays. Lieutenant Parker stood nearby, updating him on their progress. Sir, Commander Wilson has taken 3 forward bases already, Parker reported. The NIGMA Empire's response fleets are still hours away. Their faster-than-light technology is primitive compared to our quantum drives. Marcus nodded. And the special operation teams. Captain Reynolds reports success. His teams have infiltrated 5 major NIGMA supply bases. Their quantum viruses are destroying the Empire's communication networks as we speak. The NIGMA Empire had built their military might over centuries, conquering countless worlds. But they had never faced an enemy like humanity, an enemy that had hidden its true power, waiting for the right moment to strike. At another NIGMA base, Base Commander Reed watched in horror as human ships appeared from nowhere, their weapons cutting through his defenses like they weren't even there. How? He demanded. How can they be everywhere at once? The answer was simple: quantum technology. While the NIGMA Empire relied on standard faster-than-light travel, humanity had mastered quantum space itself. Their ships could appear anywhere, instantly, without warning. Commander Wilson's fleet moved from base to base, their attacks precisely coordinated by AI systems. The nanite swarms disabled NIGMA shields, quantum weapons destroyed their defenses, and precision strikes disabled their ships without destroying them completely. Remember, Wilson told his fleet, we're not here for revenge. Disable when possible. Destroy only when necessary. Show them that humanity isn't just more powerful, we're more merciful too. Back on Earth, Admiral Marcus received a priority message from High Command. The quantum scans were complete. They had mapped every NIGMA Empire military installation in this sector of space. Sir, Lieutenant Parker said, checking the latest reports, the NIGMA Empire has lost 40% of their forward bases. Their supply lines are in chaos. Their communications are failing. Should we push harder? Marcus studied the tactical. High Commander Stone stood in the NIGMA Empire's central command chamber, his scaled fists clenched in rage. Around him, the Empire's greatest military leaders gathered for what might be their last chance at victory. Send everything. Stone roared, his 4 eyes blazing with fury. Every ship, every soldier, every weapon. We will not be defeated by creatures who dared to hide their true power from us. Across NIGMA space, 10,000 warships answered the call, the largest fleet in the Empire's history, assembled for one massive attack on Earth. Their black hulls darkened entire star systems as they gathered. In the Earth Defense Command Center, Lieutenant Parker watched the massive fleet movements on the quantum detection grid. Sir, they're coming. All of them. Admiral Marcus nodded calmly, just as the prediction matrix said they would. Pride is a predictable weakness. He turned to his staff. Signal the Kuiper Belt bases. It's time to reveal our shipyards. Beyond Neptune's orbit, hidden in the icy depths of the Kuiper Belt, massive human space stations shimmered into view as they dropped their quantum cloaking. Each station was a fully automated shipyard, producing advanced warships guided by AI systems. The NIGMA fleet arrived in waves, thousands of ships dropping out of hyperspace around Earth's solar system. High Commander Stone watched from his new flagship, certain that such overwhelming numbers would finally break humanity's defenses. "See how they tremble before our might," he declared, watching the tactical display. But something was wrong. The human defenders didn't look worried at all. Admiral Marcus's voice came over all channels. "We expected this. We predicted this. And we prepared for this." He pressed a button on his command console. "Activate the quantum prediction matrix." Across space, human ships began moving before the NIGMA vessels even fired their weapons. The AI systems, guided by technology that could predict probable future events, knew exactly where each enemy ship would be. "Impossible," Stone shouted as his first wave of attacks missed completely. "They're moving before we fire. How can they know?" The answer became clear as more human ships appeared from the Kuiper Belt bases. Not hundreds, not thousands, but tens of thousands of vessels, each one guided by AI systems more advanced than anything the NIGMA Empire had ever seen. "Sir," Lieutenant Parker reported to Admiral Marcus, "the NIGMA fleet is trying to adapt their tactics, but the prediction matrix is staying 15 moves ahead of them." Marcus watched as human ships danced through the NIGMA formation, their quantum weapons striking with surgical precision. "How many ships have we lost?" "3, sir," Parker replied, "compared to their 2,000 and counting." In space, the battle looked like a dance of lights. NIGMA ships fired massive energy weapons, but they couldn't hit targets that knew where the shots would go before they were fired. Human vessels slipped through their formations like ghosts, their attacks precise and devastating. High Commander Stone watched in horror as his mighty fleet fell apart. "More ships," he commanded. "Send in everything." But everything wasn't enough. The human shipyards in the Kuiper Belt kept producing new vessels, each one joining the battle seamlessly, guided by the same predictive AI network. "Commander," a NIGMA officer reported, his voice shaking, "we've lost 40% of the fleet. Their weapons, their ships, they're beyond anything we've ever seen." In the Earth Command Center, Admiral Marcus received a message from the prediction matrix. It showed 100 possible futures, and in 99 of them, this battle marked the beginning of the end for the NIGMA Empire. "Send the message," Marcus ordered. Across every NIGMA ship, screens activated showing Earth's final warning. "Your Empire's time is over. Surrender now, or what happens next will be your own fault." High Commander Stone stared at the message, watching more of his ships disappear from his tactical display. For the first time in his life, he felt something he never expected to feel: fear. 1 month after the surrender of the NIGMA Empire, High Commander Stone stood in chains before the Galactic Council. The massive chamber, built by humans in neutral space, held representatives from every world that had once been under NIGMA control. Admiral Marcus sat at the head of the council table, his uniform crisp and formal. Besides him, Lieutenant Parker managed the holographic displays showing evidence of the NIGMA Empire's crimes against other species. "High Commander Stone," Marcus spoke, his voice carrying across the chamber, "you stand accused of war crimes against multiple civilizations. How do you plead?" Stone looked around the room, seeing faces of species his empire had conquered over centuries. But now they sat as equals, free from NIGMA control. His 4 eyes blinked slowly as he realized the complete change in the galaxy's power structure. "Guilty," Stone said finally, his voice barely a whisper. "We were wrong. About everything." In the month since the surrender, humanity had shown the galaxy a different way to exist. They shared some of their less advanced technology with former NIGMA worlds, helping them rebuild. They established trade routes, communication networks, and defensive alliances. "The Council has reviewed the evidence," Marcus announced. "High Commander Stone, you will spend the rest of your life helping to rebuild the worlds your empire destroyed. Not in chains, but under supervision, using your knowledge to repair what you damage. Many representatives seemed surprised by this mercy. They had expected execution, or at least life imprisonment. But humanity had other ideas. Justice without mercy is just revenge, Marcus explained to the council. We intend to build something better than the NIGMA Empire, something that will last. Across the former NIGMA Empire, changes were already visible. Human AI systems helped manage planetary resources, ending centuries of artificial scarcity. Quantum communication networks connected distant worlds instantly. Former enemies began working together, learning from each other. Lieutenant Parker approached Marcus after the council meeting. Sir, reports from the outer worlds are coming in. The new Confederation is growing stronger every day. Even former NIGMA military commanders are helping maintain peace. Marcus nodded, looking out at the stars through the council chamber's massive window. They understand now. The NIGMA Empire fell not just because we were stronger, but because we were wiser. They never needed to fire the first shot. We would have helped them if they'd only asked. In the following weeks, more worlds joined the human-led Confederation. The former NIGMA Empire's advanced ships, once used for conquest, were rebuilt for exploration and trade. Their weapons were transformed into tools for mining and construction. Stone, working under guard to help rebuild a world his empire had nearly destroyed, found himself teaching younger members of his species about the mistakes of the past. We thought power meant having the strongest weapons, he told them. But the humans showed us that true power is knowing when not to use them. They could have destroyed us all. Instead, they chose to help us become better. In the Earth Defense Command Center, now serving as a hub for the entire Confederation, Admiral Marcus received reports from across the galaxy. Former NIGMA worlds were flourishing under the new system. Peace had replaced war. Cooperation had replaced conquest. The latest survey results, sir, Parker said, handing Marcus a datapad. 97% of former NIGMA worlds report improved living conditions. Their technology, combined with ours, is creating things we never imagined. Marcus smiled, remembering the day the NIGMA Empire had first appeared above Mars. They thought we were primitive because we chose not to show our strength. They never understood that the greatest power is the power to change things for the better. The stars shined brightly through the command center's windows, each one now representing not a potential conquest, but a partner in the greatest peace the galaxy had ever known. Humanity had ended the NIGMA Empire not just through superior technology, but through the wisdom to use that technology for the benefit of all. The warning had been ignored, but the lesson had been learned, and the galaxy was better for it. After defeating the NIGMA Empire's massive fleet, humanity didn't wait for them to recover. Admiral Marcus stood on the bridge of Earth's new flagship, the Justice, as it led the attack fleet toward the heart of NIGMA space. All ships report ready, Lieutenant Parker announced from his station. The quantum drives are charged. The prediction matrix shows a 98% chance of success. Marcus nodded, his eyes fixed on the tactical display. Send the message to all ships. Begin Operation Endgame. 5,000 human vessels jumped into quantum space at once. Unlike the crude hyperspace technology used by the NIGMA Empire, human ships could travel instantly between any 2 points in space. They appeared directly above the NIGMA Empire's capital world. High Commander Stone, still recovering from his defeat at Earth, stared in disbelief at the massive human fleet above his homeworld. How? He whispered. How did they find us so quickly? The answer came from his own officers. Sir, we're detecting quantum scanning beams everywhere. They've mapped our entire defense network. In space, the human fleet demonstrated its mastery of dimensional warfare. Ships phased between different layers of reality, becoming impossible to target. Their weapons struck from dimensions the NIGMA Empire couldn't even detect. Your defenses cannot stop us. Admiral Marcus's voice boomed across all NIGMA communications. Your weapons cannot harm us. But we offer you one last chance to surrender. On several NIGMA worlds, military commanders began questioning their leaders. They had seen the reports from Earth, watched their greatest fleet get decimated. Now these impossibly advanced humans were offering mercy instead of destruction. "Sir," Lieutenant Parker reported to Marcus, "we're detecting communications between NIGMA worlds. Many of their military commanders are demanding that High Commander Stone surrender." Marcus watched as his fleet systematically disabled the NIGMA Empire's orbital defenses. Human ships phased through solid matter. Quantum weapons shut down entire defense grids, and AI-guided strikes hit with perfect precision. "Now they understand," Marcus said quietly. "Now they know why we warned them, why we tried to prevent this." On the capital world, High Commander Stone faced growing rebellion. His own officers turned their weapons on him, demanding he end the war before humanity was forced to demonstrate even more of their superior technology. "You don't understand," Stone shouted at them. "We are the NIGMA Empire. We never surrender." But his words meant nothing against the reality above their heads. Human ships continued their perfect dance through space, untouchable and unstoppable. Each strike demonstrated technology so advanced it seemed like magic to the NIGMA observers. "Sir," Parker called out on the Justice's bridge, "we're receiving surrender signals from 30 NIGMA worlds. Their military commands are standing down." Admiral Marcus nodded. "And the capital?" "Still resisting. High Commander Stone refuses to accept defeat." "Then show them what happens next," Marcus ordered. The human fleet activated their final weapon system. Quantum fields surrounded the entire NIGMA capital world, cutting it off from the rest of space. No ships could escape, no transmissions could leave. "Your empire is finished," Marcus transmitted to Stone. "Your worlds are surrendering. Your fleet is destroyed. The only question is how many more lives you're willing to sacrifice for your pride." In his palace on the capital world, Stone watched his empire crumble. The humans had never needed their warnings to be heeded. They hadn't needed the NIGMA Empire to back down. They had known from the very beginning how this would end. "Sir," one of Stone's few remaining loyal officers reported, "the humans, they're offering terms of surrender. They're promising to spare all civilian lives and maintain planetary infrastructure." Stone looked up at the sky through his palace window, where human ships hung like stars of judgment. Finally, after losing everything, he understood. The humans had never wanted this war, but they had been ready for it. And now, the NIGMA Empire would pay the price for ignoring their warning.